What is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And unless you've been living under a rock, Microsoft Xbox acquired Activision Blizzard King, and yeah, for 68 point what 70 68.7 billion something dollars was a massive amount. But yeah, Microsoft are now the owners of the beloved series, which is Call of Duty. Whether you hate or love it, it's the best-selling franchise, and now Microsoft owns it. And yesterday, late last night, they had a sort of podcast sit down where Phil Spencer was asked about the future of Call of Duty. So let's take a look at it. It's a pretty interesting one.
But the reason, as much as we'd love to continue talking about that with you, Phil, also the big deal has closed on Friday, and I'm seeing a lot of headlines, a lot of YouTubers saying things like "It's done, it's done," and we were talking earlier. This isn't the end. This is really the beginning with Xbox and Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I think the regulatory process, let's just say it took so long that it almost felt like the game or
20 months.
the kind of goal itself was to get through the regulatory process. That's just the beginning. In fact, this evening I'm flying to Stockholm to see the King team. It's a team I don't know that well, so I'm really excited to go see them. I think we're in Stockholm and then London. They have a couple other locations. I don't know that we're going to make to all the locations, but I'm really excited about seeing the teams. The following week, I'm going down to Southern California. I'll go to Blizzard. I'll go see Activision. And to me, when I think about where we're trying to go, it always starts with the teams, right? The teams have to feel motivated. They have to feel inspired. They have to feel safe. They have to feel heard. And
yeah, that's a good thing because we know with every merger of companies, there's layoffs and things like that. So obviously, Phil is going to go out there. He's going to make them, he's going to reassure them that, changes are happening and whether or not they will be safe or not, it's something that happens every day when companies merge. It's not something new. You got the ponies out there acting like it's something so new. There might be layoffs, there might not. At the end of the day, I hope that everybody is safe still, because it's a thing that happens with corporations and these big companies. Once there's a merger, there are some roles that are made redundant and people get laid off, whatever. But what Phil is saying here is that he's going out to these teams to make them feel safe, to reassure them, about the change that's happening, what's going to change, who will be affected, and so forth. But he uses the word to make them feel safe. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That he's actually going out to these teams, to meet with these teams, to sit down with them, have a conversation, let them know. That's a good leader right there. I don't care what you say. That's a sign of a good leader right there.
Because their passion, their commitment to the things that they build, the way they run their games, that comes from the culture of who they are. I've said it many times. I think teams ship their culture in everything they do, whether it's implicit or explicit. You can kind of feel the dynamic on a team and the creative output, whether it's a band, whether it's a writer, whatever. So spending time with the teams and getting to hear from them where they're going. I have some of my own opinions, of course, but they're just opinions. This is getting time with the teams, thinking about where we're trying to go, then looking at the games and where we are and where the roadmap. That's really where the work is, and I'm very, very excited about that.
And as part of that journey, obviously, there's the big burning question that everybody would like to know, and you mentioned it in your Xbox Wire post.
When's Hexen coming back? That's what people want to know.
I think that's what you want to know.
Might be one of my questions.
Yes, but that is part of it. But it's also, and you wrote in your Xbox Wire post last week as well, that the work has started on bringing Activision Blizzard King games to Game Pass and other platforms. And I think like speculation and wish lists have been running wild ever since last week. So I'm sure you've seen all of that. But what does that mean exactly, especially when we think about our last acquisition in 2021 with Bethesda? There was a fairly immediate drop of back catalog games. So I think people are looking to that and wondering, is that kind of how the format is going to go now, or what?
Ooh, the burning question. Because remember when Xbox acquired Bethesda, there was like, there was a week or something where they dropped the whole catalog of Bethesda's games. Not the whole catalog, but some of the games were released on Game Pass, and more came over the course of time. And now people are expecting the same thing with Call of Duty Activision. So let's let's hear what Phil has to say about this, because I think that's the burning question that everybody wants to know. Given that we have like 2.5 months left of 2023, and we know that Modern Warfare 3 is about to release November 10th, will all the Activision COD games at least come to Game Pass? To keep to the player base happy. To give them something for the for the festive season that's coming up. Christmas and all that, December holidays, all that stuff. To give the fans something to hold them over until more games are released. So let's hear what Phil has to say, because everybody's been making wish lists, even I have. So
What does that actually look
And I
like?
think rightfully so, right? When we finished Bethesda, there was this great moment. We were able to put a bunch of the back catalog games in, celebrate their history. The truth of the matter is, with Activision Blizzard King, that the regulatory process took so long, and frankly, there was a lot of uncertainty
yeah.
in that process up until really a week before we
Okay.
closed, or the week of, when the CMA finally came down to their decision, that we weren't able to get in and work with it's mostly Activision and Blizzard in this case, on that back catalog work. So now that the deal is closed, we're starting that work, but there is work. And I think the Activision Twitter handle, or X handle, whatever we're calling it, did put out a statement. I can't call it X, but Twitter handle did put out something that talked about 2024. I think that's accurate. There's no, I would love it if there was some kind of secret celebration drop that's coming in the next couple of weeks. There's not. It's definitely when we think about the new games that are there, I would be straight with people, right? If we were going to put them in the subscription this year, I would tell people, and I know there'll be some disappointment about that. This acquisition is definitely long-term. So the fact that we're not hitting day one with a bunch of games dropping in to Game Pass is a little bit of a downer, but I'm very excited about the future. And I just want to be straight with people that that's where we are.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward and very much appreciated from Phil. So what he's basically saying, because it took 20 months and the back and forth with the appeals by the FTC and all those, and the CMA's blocking the merge and things like that. Basically what he's saying is that Activision and Xbox didn't really get that chance to sit down and discuss, okay, we're gonna drop these games on these dates and this, and these are the plans going ahead and things like that. So I was hopeful that they might drop all the COD games this year still, especially when you come into November, December, to hold the fans over into the next year. But what he's basically saying is they did not reach that stage given the regulatory process that took so long. So it's a bit of a downer, but it's understandable. It's completely understandable. But what I also think is, and this is just my opinion, since Modern Warfare 3 is releasing soon, November 10th, right? I don't think that they want to release the older COD games onto Game Pass, because they want all the focus and momentum on Modern Warfare 3. Now, whether or not you like Modern Warfare 3, by them placing older COD games onto Game Pass, what's going to happen? The Xbox gamers, right? Those that are on Game Pass, they're going to play those older COD games. It means it's going to take players away from the Modern Warfare 3 release, and they want to maximize that game's release. They want to get the most money out of that release, So Activision wants to capitalize on Modern Warfare 3, and I think by releasing games onto Game Pass, you're going to have more players actually going back to the older CODs, because we've seen the narrative for the past couple of years that people are missing the old COD. And with Modern Warfare 2, although I think it's great, a lot of people dislike the game given that there's a lot of things missing. I mean, COD now, like Season 6 with the whole haunting thing, it's pretty awesome. But COD always brings the best seasons only at the last, right before they're about to launch another game. And yeah, it's just, so I think that releasing the older cards is going to hurt the Modern Warfare 3 release, because a lot of people will be jumping back into those older cards, and we've seen in this year when they activated those old 360 servers, man, how there was a resurgence of players going back to those games and completely enjoying it, and people were playing it for weeks. They forgot about Modern Warfare 2. That's the reality. So in that sense, and like I said, this is just my opinion, but I think that they might believe that releasing those older card games, Xbox Game Pass, this year still is going to have an impact on the release of Modern Warfare 3, and they want all the focus to be on that game. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Though I would still like to see those older card games come to Game Pass. But like I said, probably not going to be this year, and it doesn't expect surprise releases. It's a bit of disappointing. It's a bit of a bummer, but at the end of the day, they're looking at the long term, and they've got great IP with Call of Duty and the rest of the Activision Blizzard King, franchise and that.
There you go, addressing the rumors. Now let's talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 coming out next month. Very excited. I played the beta over the
The
weekend.
open beta, what'd you think?
It's very interesting getting humbled by your reaction time going down every single year.
Yeah.
Okay, young man.
It's very clear that
I count my reaction time in like tens of seconds now.
Well, people are getting really good at the game, but to that point, like people are really excited about it. And I think for players who may not be
What do you think about the Modern Warfare 3 beta? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about the beta? I played the beta like 2 days or so. But let me know your thoughts on it. I'm really interested to know your thoughts on it.
playing on Xbox, they want to know, what does this mean for them on their platform? Like, is Xbox going to see exclusive DLC, early release, things like that? So what
Another
can you
big
tell
question.
players who are looking to play Call of Duty on other
And when we
platforms?
say other platforms, I think we're talking about PlayStation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that other one. Yeah. I mean, because I think the PC players, their PC is unique, and I want it to feel like it's part of the overall gaming platform that Xbox focuses on.
It is part of it.
We've been
It's
on
part
that
of it.
journey for a while with our first party and our Xbox app on PC. There's a lot of work for us to continue to do there. For Call of Duty players on PlayStation and in the future on Nintendo, I want you to feel 100% part of the community. I don't want you to feel like there's content you're missing out, there's skins you're missing out, there's timing that you're missing out on. That's
There
not
we
the
go.
goal. The goal is 100% parity across all platforms as much as we can for launching content. I say as much as we can on parity because clearly some platforms have resolution and frame rate differences just based on perf. But there's nothing else. Like we have no goal of somehow trying to use Call of Duty to get you to buy an Xbox console. So it is, I want the Call of Duty nation to feel supported across all platforms. We've been on the other side of some of those skins and times, even this beta, like it wasn't on Xbox the first
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
Like, I don't think that helps the community. I don't think that helps the game. And so
snap.
it's the focus. If you're a PlayStation player, you're a Nintendo player, PC player, or an Xbox console player, I want you to feel like 100% part of the Call of Duty nation.
There we go. The answers, and like I said, Xbox would be stupid to keep or to make COD exclusive to Xbox and PC because they will be throwing money away. As we know, the biggest player base on Call of Duty are PlayStation players. That's a fact. We've seen the results from the FTC case and that the player base from PlayStation are the biggest COD players. They have the biggest player base of COD. So if Xbox was to make it exclusive to the Xbox brand and to the PC, they would be throwing money away. And this is a smart decision. But like he said also, he's not going to do the same thing that PlayStation did, where we had exclusive deals, early access, and that was exclusive to PlayStation players. So that is done. So basically what he's saying is there's not going to be any more of that shit. That's BS, to be honest. Where you pre-order the same game, but the PlayStation player gets a few days early access from you. They bought the same game. They bought the same freaking bundle, that's why I say exclusive deals. They sometimes are so stupid, especially when it comes to the same third-party games where there are some exclusive deals on them. It just doesn't make sense. But Uncle Phil is saying here basically that they're doing away with that, which is great. And like I said, it will be stupid of them to throw away money, you know, by making it exclusive to the Xbox and that. So there you have it. Now, mark the date. Today is what, the 18th of October, right? Or is it the 18th of 19th or whatever? Mark the date. I'm telling you now that it might even start with Modern Warfare 3. That the next Call of Duty, or like I said, it might even start with Modern Warfare 3, once the ratings are out of the game and it is low, you're going to have the ponies come out and say, oh, this is the Microsoft effect, the Game Pass effect, shit like that. Mark the date, I'm telling you now, and it might even start with Modern Warfare 3 because you have some of these ponies that just do not have brain cells. Even though the game was in development for long before Microsoft finalized the acquisition, you're going to have ponies come out and say that when Modern Warfare 3 scores low, or the next Call of Duty, they're going to say, this is the Xbox effect, the Microsoft effect. I'm telling you now, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Some of these ponies have just brainworms, honestly. But back to the other point, he says that they will not make Call of Duty as a console seller, right? But at the same time, and this is again my opinion, at the same time, by putting the older CODs onto Game Pass, right? Having access to all those different CODs, right? That in itself would be a system seller. Because it will be the home for shooters. Xbox will then be the home for shooters, whether you like it or not. So we all know that Call of Duty for the next 10 years will still be coming on all other platforms. But after that, for PlayStation, it's done. Right? And during that time, since there won't be exclusive deals, the fact that all the COD games will come to Game Pass and they will be playable, and if they made also cross-platform, even better. So then Xbox and PC will be the home for COD. Now, I don't know if they will fix and have the PS3 and PS4 COD servers up and running like they did with the 360 servers. Who knows? And if they make that cross-platform, even better, because then the player base will grow. But for all the CODs to be on Game Pass will be a system seller in itself. Because remember, PC players who are either buying it via Battle.net, and PlayStation players will still have to pay $70 every year for COD. Whereas with Xbox, it will be on Game Pass. Now, I don't think Xbox will put COD on the PS Plus store, whatever, like with Game Pass, because then they're just giving the game for free, and at the end of the day, they have to make money from it. That's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on that.
Love that.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we were talking about the rumors of when, things might appear on Game Pass. The other sort of like set of rumors is, or speculation out there.
Rumors.
There's only the two, right? Is like,
There are only two?
Are you bringing back Guitar Hero or Tony Hawk, or would you have, Infinity Ward work on this Xbox IP or franchise or something like that? And that stuff's been, there was 20 months to think about those types of things.
Yeah.
But now that officially the team is joined as of Friday, so you have 9 studios, there's a wealth of IP from Activision. Like, how are you thinking about these new teams, these new franchises, or new to us franchises? Like, how do you even take all of that in?
Yeah, the first thing, as I kind of mentioned before, is to go spend time with the teams. Because I just don't think that a team working on something that isn't their passion leads to the best result. So I might have my list of things from my memories in history that I want to see made again. Everybody will, right? When I just think about, not just about Activision Blizzard King, you add in Bethesda, you add in Xbox's history, Rare, like the amount of franchises that we now have in our portfolio it's kind of inspiring. It's daunting. I feel that we have to be a great custodian for the content that we touch. These are memories from people on different platforms, different decades. And I want to make
Yep.
sure that when we're going back and visiting something, that we do it with our complete ability, a motivated team that wants to go work on something and make a difference, not just create something for financial gain or create something for a PR announcement and not
Yeah.
deliver on the price. So I'm going to start with the teams and what are
Mhm.
they passionate about. That's why I'm excited to go on these visits. And then we'll look at it. Like I think we've done an okay job as Xbox. I don't think we've done kind of an A+ job
Okay.
on
Yeah,
looking
he's
at our
actually
franchises and revisiting them. It's
he's
always a trade-off between what do you do
he's actually owning up to that. He's actually owning up to that, and I'll talk about that now as to why I'm raising that. That is actually why I think it's good that he's owning up to that.
that's new and going back and doing something. I do think with Game Pass, we have the ability to maybe pick a couple franchises every year and almost do like a revisited. I just made up that term, so it's not a brand.
It's not on a box.
It's not on a box, but I tease about things like Hexen just because I remember playing it as a kid. I have no plan for that, but I do think when you look across all of the franchises that are part of our teams, there's an opportunity for us to go back, even if it's just to recognize the moment and what those things meant in gaming's history and do something right with it, make it available to people through Game Pass. I think there's an opportunity. There's not a plan for that, but there's an opportunity. If people want to,
There's
if
a lot of
teams want to go
opportunity.
back and revisit some of the things that we have and do kind of a full
Remakes,
focus on it, I'm going to be
remasters.
all in on that
Yeah.
because I think there's just an amazing trove of things that we can go and
They have a
and touch
wealth of
again. It doesn't
IP.
have to just be about Activision and Blizzard. Like I said, when you look across all the portfolio,
Yeah.
I think about things like the Quake 2 remaster. It just came out from it. I thought that was awesome, right? They did a real good job revisiting a game, making it current, but also not leaving the history behind. So I'd love to see more things like that.
So you mentioned the trove of content.
Yeah, you see, so given that they've now acquired Activision Blizzard King, their IP, they have this massive vault of IP that they can just choose from to do remakes, remasters, a complete remakes. You know, they can build upon franchises that have been loved back then but were forgotten and left in the dust. You know, they can revive franchises. They can go on with it. So there's like endless possibilities for Xbox to dip their hands into a toy box. You know, they've got a massive toy box now. They can put their hands in there, pull out whatever toy they want, and they can go all in with it. But like I said, it starts with the teams. They need to find out what the teams are passionate about, what they want to create, what they want to recreate, what they want to remake, what they want to remaster, what they want to build upon. But like you said, they haven't done a great job with everything. And we've seen, like with games like Redfall, we've seen with Starfield, although it's a great game, the game didn't release with things like an FOV slide and things like that. And that is why I say Xbox needs to pull up their pants now. They need to exercise a greater degree of control over this IP that they have, because it's a massive, like I said, it's a massive toy box that they have now filled with IP. They need to exercise a better degree of control over these things, because we cannot have for the next couple of years more Redfalls. You know what I'm saying? More games releasing in the state that Redfall released in. We cannot have that. They need to step up the game when it comes to quality control, and they need to handle it, man. So that is why I say it's a good thing that he's owning up to that. He sees that there is that lack of quality control. And look, I'm all for Xbox giving the studios that they've acquired the freedom to create what they want, and then that's great because it pushes creativity and originality and that. But at the end of the day, before that game releases, Xbox needs to step in, have a degree of control over to look, this is what's wrong with it. Does the game need more time? Let it cook, let it burn more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, this interview goes on for like 39 minutes. I'm gonna leave a link to the video in the description, right? You guys can go watch the full thing. I'm not gonna talk about the entire thing here, but there were 3 questions that I think were the most important questions, and we got an answer to it. So let me know, are you excited for the future of Xbox with ABK now added to their massive list of IPs, man? Are you excited? Are you concerned? Let me know if you're actually concerned. Do you agree with me with regards to the quality control that Xbox needs to exercise a greater degree of quality over this IP, over this massive ocean of IPs that they have? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get talking about it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I try to keep these videos like under 15 minutes, but it always seems to go over. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, guys, stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the next video. Rampage out, epic gaming. Peace.